Welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, and today we've got another action figure review for you guys. This one from a franchise I'm surprised hasn't had more merchandise, to be honest. And that's because today we're looking at, from Diamond Select, the Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales Jack Sparrow action figure. This version of Jack Sparrow is based on the 2017 film from Disney, and yeah, there's a lot of Jack Sparrow stuff out there and a lot of pirate stuff in general, but in terms of toys, not really a lot of things out there. Most of them are like super duper kid friendly. This is one of the few that's kind of for that adult market. And I'm very curious because, I saw some proto photos of this. I was very impressed by the head sculpt, by the paint on this thing, by the level of detail on it. So I want to get my hands on it for myself and see if it's actually worth you guys adding to your collections. So first things first, let's go ahead and take a look at the packaging here. And this is kind of the smaller style packaging that you're going to find in a lot of the Walgreens stores. I don't think there's going to be a difference in the versions of this figure out there because certain toys now from Diamond are in this style as opposed to the much larger style we've seen in other figures. So this Jack Sparrow is going to be in the more economic style packaging, which is nice, square, smaller, easier to store if you're going to leave them in package. But regardless, still gives you a great look into the figure as you've got a very large window on the front, 2 windows on the side, and of course, as always, the handy dandy Diamond Select sunroof. The back of the packaging is pretty minimal here as well. It just has a really nice photo of the prototype of this figure, as well as a pretty decent bio about Captain Jack Sparrow here. That's not too bad, actually. It's kind of hard to summarize a whole movie in like 2 sentences, but I think that's a pretty decent job about that. And the packaging also tells us that this figure was designed by Yuri Taming and sculpted by Rocco Tardamella and Gentle Giant Studios. But of course, I'm no Mint on card collector, and chances are neither are you. So let's go ahead and get this Jack Sparrow out of his buried chest and take a closer look at him from all angles. And yar, here is our Jack Sparrow figure out of the packaging. Yeah, it took me this long to do a pirate pun. I was going to hold off to make sure I didn't lose any viewers from doing it, but there you go. That's your first pirate impression and probably the last one you'll get here in this video. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at our figure, and let's start things off with the likeness. How much does this look like Johnny Depp? And I would give this actually a pretty perfect likeness. I think this is a really excellent version of Johnny Depp as Jack Sparrow. One of the things I was concerned about was how they're going to handle his features, because he's got kind of softer features compared to other people. He's got a distinctive face, but I was curious how well those features would actually translate into an action figure, especially with Diamond Select's paint jobs. And as I noted in the past, their paint jobs have tended to be typically a little overly painted. But really the last year or so, I feel like they've made a turning point and they've started using a lot less paint, and they've really kind of let the sculpting breathe more so than the paint job. And in doing so, you end up getting a much more subtle, more realistic paint job as well. So they've done something really, really impressive here over the last few years, and I think this Jack Sparrow is an excellent version of what I'm talking about here. I think it looks just like Johnny Depp. I like the redness in the face as well. This figure to me, it's up there with those Lord of the Rings figures, which I said had excellent likenesses too, probably some of the best they ever did. I'd say this is pretty much right up there with them. Maybe not quite as good as Lord of the Rings, but definitely not far off it either. Sculpting is excellent, and the paint job too, very clean. They did a great job with the facial hair. You got the mark on his cheek as well, right below his eye. And I really like also all the little details that are in his hair, all the different strings and ties, whatever you want to call them, all the different stuff that's going on in his hair. That all looks really great. Now, one thing that is kind of a bit of a letdown, but also I guess makes some sense, is that this hat is not removable. This hat is part of the head. So if you were hoping to get this hat off of him, well, keep hoping, because it's not happening anytime soon. This is part of the head sculpt. It is just there. So that part kind of sucks a little bit. But, it's not like you're going to really see him without that hat that often either. So, I'll take it as is. I'm okay with that. I don't really take off too many points for that, if any. Now, this outfit also, I gotta tell you guys, is really impressive, very colorful, I think fairly movie accurate as well. A lot of great detail here. It's almost hard to see all the detail because there's so much going on here, but I mean, just all the different textures that are in the shirts here, the leather belt, just all the different knickknacks he has on him. Of course, you also got the strap across his chest too. The jacket, like this is really, really impressive. And again, now we're gonna jump into paint job too. The paint is really good. It looks very worn, very faded out, like it's been on the high seas, like it's seen a lot of adventures. Yuri Taming did an excellent job designing this, and credit goes to Rocco Tardamella for making it actually happen, along with Gentle Giant Studios. I think the team behind this figure really put a lot of effort into it, and it shows. Jack Sparrow is not normally a character I would really have any interest in buying anything of, but I decided to give it a shot just based on how nice this figure looked, and it's really not disappointing at all in terms of the look, the likeness, paint job, sculpting. Like, this is just alone by itself amazing. I mean, look at these hands too. I haven't even talked about the hands yet. I mean, there's just all these great rings on them. The fingernails are painted. Yeah, real stunning piece of work here. This is gorgeous. This is a great action figure in terms of look and appearance. But does it put the action in action figure? Well, that's where I think we have some problems here. So that's going to be our discussion on articulation. So let's see what it can do here. So according to the package, it's supposed to have 16 points of articulation. I think we're going to realistically end up with half of that if we're lucky. So the head, yeah, it moves, but he's got so much hair, it ain't going anywhere. The shoulders are ball jointed, and those move just fine. The elbows also are, looks like it is a single hinge, but pretty good range of motion on it. So that's moving. The hands, they can bend and flex, but not too much because these sleeves get in their way so much. It makes them really hard to do much of anything. So they're pretty limited in what they can do. Does the waist turn? It's supposed to, but it's so restricted because of all the stuff he's got on him. And likewise, those legs, I mean, yeah, he's got joints. You could see him in there, but I mean, well, let's see. Actually, all right, you know what? Maybe I'll take that back. There are slits. I didn't notice those before. There's actually slits here. So I'm actually getting, wow, okay. You know what? I'm going to take back some of what I said. I was actually thinking this thing wasn't going to move at all, but no, they added some slits to the clothing here, and that's giving it some articulation on the sides. I mean, you can't really, you hear the snap, by the way? Oh my God, that was a painful snap. Ouch. You can actually move them really nicely side to side, up and down, not so much with the legs, but that's still impressive. They can actually go outwards like that. The knee joints are double jointed. It's about as far as that can go because these boots are enormous. The boot cuffs are really huge on them. The ankles move as well. So, you know, all in all, it's actually better than I thought it was going to be. Still not amazing, though. It's not really the best because there was a lot of hindrance from the outfit. But is that going to really affect anything? Is that going to affect figure photography? Is that going to affect posing? Not really. This isn't like he's going to be doing German suplexes anytime soon. So I'm going to actually give this one a pass also. There's a few things it can't do, but overall, I think based on the character, it's nothing that's really going to kill it for me. Now let's talk accessories here, and we don't really have a lot. In fact, all we actually have is one hand here. That's his sword fighting hand. And again, that gives us a really better look at all the paint detail on this hand. This hand is amazing looking. Like, I'm just in love with that hand. The sword, however, it's pretty plain, pretty drab. Not too great. Let's do a hand swap, see if it comes in and out. That's actually what I'm most concerned about, is whether or not I get these hands in and out, because, well, so far it's going in all right. And yeah, there you go. Now, I don't, okay, it didn't quite stay in there. It's kind of difficult because that sword's already in there, and I just feel like it's not ideal for swapping hands and things like that. That sword, it seems to be part of the hand, and I don't really quite like that, to be completely honest. Especially makes no sense, too, if that's the case, because he does have this spot to hold the sword over here, but I don't know if it's really meant to come out of that hand or not. It just came that way, and it seems pretty solid and firm in there, so, you know, I've been trying off camera. I'm afraid to do it too much and break it, but it seems like this is all just one piece, unfortunately. And as far as accessories go, well, technically that's kind of the end of it, but not really. That's just the end of the handheld accessories. What you're really getting here is a very large set of diorama pieces. And I'm just going to start piling them out over here, and we'll see what they do, trying to figure out how to actually use them. So we have these pieces here. We have this. So basically, you're going to be able to build parts of a ship. And I'm going to go ahead and try that right now. You can see here, this piece moves like this. It's on a hinge, and it comes out too. Let's see now how this piece actually builds. This piece is going to snap in like that. Looks like these pieces will go in like that. And then finally, I guess you can just put this, and you can't really tell it's happening off camera, but there's a little bit, there's two slits that are down here on the bottom. So you would then just go ahead, connect everything. I think you'd probably just want to slide it in. I'm not going to do it all the way just because I don't want to spend all the time doing it, but basically you connect them together, and you've now got basically part of a pirate ship. And that's kind of cool. That's actually really nice little feature. And you can see how he looks, in fact, on that. And I think that looks really awesome. Like, that's really great. It's rare that a figure comes with like that much of a diorama piece anymore, and Diamond's been doing it for quite some time. They've always included diorama pieces with a lot of their Marvel Select figures. With this Jack Sparrow, though, it's really awesome. I mean, how often do you get a piece of a pirate ship with a toy? That's really cool. And by the way, if pirate ships ain't your thing, it also just comes with a normal base too, which, you know, I'm always a fan of. I love these Diamond Select bases. They fit some other toys too. So that's pretty nifty. You get a whole bunch of stuff here. And that's partly why you're not getting that many other accessories besides that swappable hand. Now, I also want to do a few figure comparisons. I was going to take him off of the pirate ship there, but I think he looks so fun with it. So let's just put some other figures next to him one by one. I'm going to start off here with a Marvel Legends Iron Man, Silver Centurion, and they are in scale. They're both the exact same size. That's pretty great. Let's swap him out. Now let's try a WWE Elite figure, different company now, and they're also the same size. How about that? Wasn't expecting that to be the case. Let's swap him out, though. Let's try some other stuff from Diamond, and I happen to have one of their John Wick figures, and I'm pretty positive this is going to be enormous compared to our John. Yeah, he's enormous. So this is like a totally different scale. And I'm going to actually try a Warhammer 40K figure. Of course, that's going to be enormous compared to him. Not as bad as I thought it was going to be, though. That John Wick is enormous. Man, that John Wick is so huge. And lastly, I've got a G.I. Joe classified Cobra Infantry Trooper. Yeah, same scale. So, he's a 6-inch figure. I wasn't sure if he's going to be bigger or smaller. I'm actually pretty happy he's this size, though. Normally, Diamond does tend to make them larger, but I'm fine with it being this scale. I'm actually more than happy with him being this size. And that looks just, again, really great with that diorama piece. Like, man, this is actually a much better figure than I was expecting. I wasn't trying to be pessimistic about it or anything like that. I was just not sure what we were going to get out of this thing. But I got to tell you guys, in terms of likeness, in terms of sculpt, and especially in terms of paint job, it's really, really great. And that diorama piece, too, that just blows me away. So this is a definite recommend for this figure. The articulation is still a little bit iffy. It's not perfect, but it's also, I think, just adequate for what you need for this figure. And you can see he's easily standing on his own 2 feet anyway, so you don't even really need the base that comes with it, but that's great to have that. So overall, I think that this is a real treasure for any toy collector out there. Pirate pun intended. That's my last one for real this time. Figure has a lot going on, a lot more than I expected. Top-notch details, all those great other pieces with it. Like, man, it's really good, and it's a surprising figure. You know, it kind of came out of left field, but they did such a great job with it, and I think people are kind of not noticing this one as much because it's just such an odd franchise to have action figures from, but really, I think it's a natural fit, and I want more from this line. I wouldn't mind seeing other characters too, so maybe they'll do more, I don't know, but it's really interesting to see them do Johnny Depp and to see them doing him as Jack Sparrow. Hopefully, it's not the last time we get this character. And to be honest, I wouldn't be shocked if more Pirates of the Caribbean figures were on the way, so hey, we'll just have to wait and see, but for now, this Jack Sparrow, definitely worth picking up. And if you want to pick them up for yourself, by the way, you can go to Diamond Select's website, or you can use our Amazon affiliate link in the description below, which helps benefit this channel and ensures we can keep buying more toys to make awesome reviews for you. So that's our look at Diamond Select's Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales version of Jack Sparrow. Excellent figure that came out of left field, and I think he is a very worthy one to put into your toy collection. So until next time, I'm Matthew, this has been Nerd News Today, and we'll see you guys later.